I put all that information into my iTunes, and it came up 13 minutes. So as I'm sitting here with Red Bruja, I was like, it's 5:13, but that may change because of the mixing and mastering and whatever Verse was going to do on his end. It may be extended, but when he sent it back, it was still 13 minutes. It was still 13 minutes, no matter what. So I thought that was, and then now it's like, oh, it makes sense now. Ah, okay. So now we started to go down that rabbit hole of the numerology process.
Nice. So even though you weren't intentional, the energies, the powers that be around you is definitely like, you're gonna shout out these numbers.
Right, right. That's what happened. It was like, yeah, okay. And then when it all dawned on me about, the process, trying to get my life together, by the process of that, it just started clicking. And then my aunt transitioned on the 14th of last month,
Mm.
and my grandma were living together. So I was living with my aunt, my two aunts, and my grandmother. So that aunt that transitioned, her birthday was 5/13 too. So her and my grandma shared the same Earth Day.
Mm.
So same Earth Day but different years. I think it was like, a year apart from each other. So they had the same birthday. So I was like, wow, okay, let's roll with it. We ain't changing it. We're gonna keep it going, and we left it just like that.
That's a beautiful hug from the spirit guides on the other side. I love that.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
absolutely, absolutely.
So when you were working on this project, you've been doing a lot. I've seen you. You've been vlogging about your health. You've been very open about those different things. I really enjoyed listening to your vlog that you did your 30 days. That was awesome. So were you working in this with this project during that period of time when you were doing your vlogs?
Yeah, actually, I
Okay.
was. I was going through my detox. I was, what do you call it? I wanted to do something special for my grandmother's birthday, and I
Okay.
was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Should I, should I jump rope for 31 days, or should I do this and do that? And I was just like, I'm just going to do a raw foods, raw juice situation for 30 days. I wasn't even thinking about 30. I forgot it was 31 days in May. I was just focused on the 30 days and,
Mhm.
leading up to my grandma's birthday, which is the 13th. So within that whole process, I was journaling a lot, and I still am. I was just journaling a lot. I was, I received a hypnotherapy type of deal. I went through the hypnotherapy. I was also doing therapy as well, and in the process of writing for this project. So within that 30 days, I was writing this project and
Nice.
and cultivating it and creating the concept, just building the concept circled around everything. So yeah.
Like how you
Yep.
got the 531 regardless. Like you're gonna get them 31 days, you're gonna get that nine.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when 31 came, I said, you know what? I'm gonna just keep going. I'm gonna just do the end of the month. So 31, you flip that around, that's 13. Um, the the other thing about that is when I released the project, um, uh, all on digital streaming platforms, that was July the 11th, which is two, right?
Hmm.
On that day, it was something feeling really like I was missing something in that. It felt like something was going on that day, and I couldn't put my finger on it at all. And I ended up having a conversation with my ex-wife, right? So we having this conversation, and I looked at her. I was like, "Yo, what's wrong? You all right? You good?" She was like, "Oh, today is Divine's birthday. She has a son named Divine. Had a son named Divine who was, left this planet because his dad, you know, played God and took his life, right? So his birthday was July the 11th. He would have been 31.
Oh my goodness.
You flip the 31 around, you get 13. So I said, oh, damn, that's why I was feeling the way I was feeling. But each
Yeah.
time that I listen to the project, I don't think it's me. And I subjectively took myself out and listened to it like it's not me. So each time I listen to it, I get a certain feeling from it. But that day, on July 11th, because that's the same day that clips dropped, that's the same day somebody else's music dropped, and I
Hmm.
was just like, but I didn't really care about listening to the Clips album or focused on that because I was just focused on the vision that I had for this project. So, yeah, when she told me that, I said, "Oh, that's why I was feeling like that. Makes sense now." So, yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful. So it does seem like this was very divinely ordered. Like this album was bigger than your physical. It was a lot of like angels had their hands on this John. I also heard what you said in your previous interview that this is you have a song on your project called Autumn. And this song is kind of like one of the first when it comes to you having this affectionate, sensual kind of writing. And why now? And why not before? Like, what is it safe to say that it was something going on through the fast that opened you up? Like, hey, this is where I want to go on my 13th project. Years later.
Yeah, so I've written songs that are surface level as far as emotions, like Say. I wrote songs like Say. Um, there were two other ones or three other ones that I wrote, but Say actually definitely sticks out. So that was more surface level. The Autumn, through me going through my process and going to therapy and doing other things, I wanted to connect my heart and mind together. I didn't want to separate them from Autumn. So as I listened to Autumn and read Bruja putting down what she put down, I said, damn, I want to feed off the energy that she's giving and see how I can weave myself into this aura of a safe space and the order of being vulnerable. And I wrote maybe two or three, maybe I rewrote it a couple of times, and I was afraid to write it with vulnerability. I was just like, I don't know, shit, I don't know if I should do that or not, because I didn't want to show my vulnerability, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the process of me doing the therapy and writing in my journal and now allowing people to hear my journal, you know what I mean? Like to let people hear my day to day. I was like, you know what, the hell with it. Let me just write what I'm feeling and put it and leave it on paper and leave it as such. So it was a great experience to write it, but then I had to actually take myself out of the writing process of it. I couldn't be in my head. I couldn't say, well, this word, this only word that I changed was converse because I said conversate at first,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, conversate. That's not that's not how you really pronounce that word. So, and when I used converse, that was the only thing I changed was converse because I felt like those who are who are very picky about wordplay, instead of me being a MC and like, I'm just gonna say conversate because it rhymes. I just said converse because it made sense because that's what we were doing. So in the process of me writing, I didn't know I was writing it in a third party until I heard it over again. So why now is because the older I get, the more I want to be able to connect my heart and mind, not just on stage, but in real time. You know, why not? Why now? And why not then? Because I don't think I was mentally or spiritually ready to commit to the crossover of being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to black men, sometimes we don't want to be vulnerable because we may feel like we're weak. It may appear to be weak. It may appear to be you a simp. It may appear to be, oh, you in love. It may appear to be that way. So I just wanted to take a step back and be very vulnerable on Autumn. Just very vulnerable, more vulnerable than I was on Say. And I think that's how it came to play. And when I listened to it over and over again, I'm like, oh, this song makes sense. When I wrote it, it didn't make sense, but now it really makes sense to me when I listen to it.
When I listen to, because I've been a fan for a while, so I've listened to older songs. So when I listen to like your older music, and I listen to the music that you've made maybe in like the past year or two, I do see like a more vulnerability, more. I want to use the word softness. If I could find a synonym like right now, that'd be so perfect. Just more like this is more interpersonal, more interpersonal on your heart. Like what's on your heart. It seems like in the early bars, hey, none is better than the other. We got more so what was on your mind, what was in your head, what was the intellect, the logic, the religion, the structures. And so
Right.
now it seems like we're more in the spiral of things. And I love that for you. And, why out of all of 4 seasons did we pick Autumn to be so vulnerable?
That's a great question. I wanted to, damn. I think I wanted to.
Listen, you knew who you caught when you caught, like, you knew.
Um, I think I wanted to match the vibe of the beat because with that beat you can go anywhere with it, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to go anywhere with it. I wanted to be in control of my thought process within that. And I told Red Bruja this. I said she was the spark to make me write the way I wrote because the way how she came across soft, how she came across with this intent of setting up a safe space. So I had to write in a safe space manner because if I didn't, that Autumn wouldn't have hit like it hits now. And like I told you, I wrote it 2 or 3 times because I didn't want to get in that boat of vulnerability. And I also understood too that breakups, relationships would tend to make me more vulnerable. Whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether they're indifferent, it's a breakup, whatever have you. It tends to make me write openly. I may use words you never heard me say before. I may say something that's really off the wall, but it's dope. That's my authenticity coming out because I'm a better. I speak more efficient through my music than sometimes I do in a conversation. So the track had me, verse had me with that track, and then Red Bruja laid down the foundation before I even put down my verse.
Okay, I was going
So,
to ask you that. Like, who came first, you or Bruja?
yeah,
Okay,
Bruja came
cool.
first.
Wow.
So I had to match it. Even when you listen to her say her piece, which is
Yeah.
a freestyle, it's not even written. None of what she said on the album is written down.
On all the tracks, it was her
On
first
all the
singing.
tracks, none of it was written down.
Listen.
It's all from the
Okay.
top. You know what I mean? It's all from the top. I mean, of course, we sat here, listened to the beats for maybe an hour or two, and she tried to write something. I was like, yo, don't write nothing. Just speak how you speak. I don't care how you speak. It's going to be up to me to weave myself into how you're speaking. So with Autumn, it just set the bar. I was just like, it's funny how the tables turn, knowing what I learned, showing my concern. Concern of what? Of your feelings. How you feeling right now? What's going on? Like just slow walking it. If you really listen to it, I'm not even talking about sex. I'm not even talking about what the obvious mind would be thinking
Mhm.
about when she says, genie in a bottle, you got to rub me the right way. People would take that as sexual. You could, yes, absolutely. But if you are a genie and you are into the magic and you're into the spirit world, you know that you have three wishes on a genie. It's
Mhm.
funny how the tables turn. Knowing what I learned, showing my concern. You know what I'm saying? And I just asked her, do you mind if I rub your genie? I'm asking you permission to be vulnerable. Even in that song, I go, is she into me or am I lunching? She said, oh, you're not lunching. I wasn't even talking out loud. I'm talking to myself. But she heard me. And
Yeah.
that's how the vulnerability happened because she set up a safe space on the record for me to be vulnerable. And I could not be vulnerable. I had to be vulnerable. So that's how I started writing on that note.
I love that. I love that. You as a Leo, as an artist, you're so interesting because, like, you would expect like the sunrise falls on me, and you do that. Like, yo, your light is so big that even when you do features, you always have artists on, and it's like, yo, my lyrics and my light and the double, triple, multifaceted entendres and meanings in my lyrics are so like big that like I shed light on the other artists too, because the way you guys like weave in and out of each other through this project is like you really can't tell who did what first. Like, did you guys
Right.
do that at the same time? Were you guys going back and forth? Did you like it's just so it's so natural. It's so natural, especially on art. So that was dope. Were you guys like intentional with how you assigned the seasons to the instrumentals?
Well, when it came to first, when I approached Red Bruja for the project, I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in. My
Mm-hmm.
direction was I need you to introduce each record on a spiritual realm of I knew I wanted to do the seasons. I just didn't know how I wanted to do it. And I said, well, each time the next record come on, I want you to introduce the season on a spiritual realm. Just talk about summer and what summer brings in the spirit world. That was my goal. And then it was around December 2024 is when me and Verse started to actually get the beats together for season of the Vic. And I
Okay,
said, once again, he has so many beats. So he sent me some beats and I said, you know what? I want to name each song after a season, and each beat has to feel like a season. So all the beats he was sending me, I was listening to him and see what beat made me feel like it was winter, make me feel like it was fall or spring or summer, and I was like, oh, it started now formulating. So then I represented the concept to Red Bruja, and that's how it all kind of started to develop like that from each season, from the seasons as the intro pops in, and because I was trying to figure out what is that thing in between autumn and winter. What is that little that we get before winter comes? You know what I'm saying?
okay.
And when I was doing the research, they always saying like autumn, fall, and I was like, nah, it got to be it's something else that's in the middle. So I just said the intro, the first song is going to be called Seasons. And this is just the intro, and the beat sounds like waves. The beat sounds like you on the beach, and it's like I got time to gather myself before winter comes. So with that, almost like an ant, whatever I got to do before winter comes, we're gonna stuff all this stuff. We're gonna get all, and then therefore we'll be ready to go for the winter. We don't have to go outside. So that was the concept with it from start to finish. And yeah, that was the concept from start to finish. It's just I had a concept and I wanted to stick with it. And the beats allowed me to just be free to write, but also the beats allowed the person who's listening to it feel that same energy that I wanted to get across with Season of the Vic.
I like that. I like shout out to Red Bruja because she was going in on this project. It was a piece in the first track where she speaks on how you talking about the seasons and she praising you for it, and then she goes on to talk about like you got the seasons, but then you got the galaxies behind it, and then so it's just like wow, like you're opening it up to like Earth level, cycle of nature, but we've also gotten into the cosmic seasons in these tracks as well. So it's like what kind of lyricism you would. I would have thought autumn would have been winter because we in the crib anyway, rubbing on each other's jeans. But what I'm saying? That's why I said, why autumn? Like, what were we in Scorpio season? What were we doing here? Like,
Right, right, right.
but I really enjoyed spring. Spring is like my favorite joint. You guys had the platinum pins on the gold leaf paper. Y'all was getting it. And I had my mind on like, okay, you have a lot of 513 around you, with your family, the women around you. And why did we do no peace treaty for the springtime? Because in my mind I would have thought, okay, this would have been a song homage to the ladies that's born during the springtime, XYZ. And I'm not disappointed. Let me tell you, that joint gonna be on my speakers. That joint been playing all day. That joint was playing all last week. That joint been playing since 7-Eleven. I ain't gonna hold you. I actually
Word.
didn't listen to the Eclipse album until I think like Monday or Tuesday because I've been listening.
Same here. Same here. I didn't listen to it till the day before yesterday.
Yeah. So, how did you get the concept for the springtime with the like no peace treaty and they want to back at slaves? And I was just catching y'all lyrics and it was just like, oh, I love this. What was that?
So, hold on one second.
Uh-huh. We wear many hats, y'all. My kids is out there. But yeah, y'all gotta check out this project. This project is amazing. And the premise of my question is like comes back to Bruja when she was talking about like the nature and the cosmic. And so like as I'm listening with that mindset, because I heard that like every time you hear music, there's always new lyrics that pop out at you, right? So
Right.
as that one time I heard that one and those lyrics is what popped up, I started listening to your tracks from a cosmic standpoint. And when I'm listening to, like I said, when I heard autumn, Scorpio season, let's go. But then when I hear winter, I think Capricorn. When I hear springtime, I'm thinking, this is Aries. This is war. This is, fuck what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get up out of here. Y'all keep trying to pull me back. Y'all keep messing stuff up or whatever. So,
Right.
like, where was your mind at? Because that's where my mind was at listening. But what about you in the creation?
Well, the creation part of that is that no pe the first title of that song was called No Peace Treaty. And it circled the block because that song was supposed to go on another project with Versal, Last Measure, who was on the record too, and another MC. So whatever happened with that particular song, it just didn't make the cut of what they wanted to do and what Verse's vision was of the song, right? So he was like, "Yo, Enoch, what you think about putting No Peace Treaty on Seasons?" And I was like, "Okay, let me listen to it from starting from the Seasons. Let me listen to it and see where it fits."
Mm-hmm.
And it fit well. And we were going to call it Spring Break, and I just said, let's just call it Spring, because if you listen to Spring, it's like a palate cleanser to get you ready for summer. So those particular bars, that was said from each artist, the concept of the song was no peace treaty. So that's why you hear that fire in it. That's why you hear Tupac in the beginning talking about, yeah, because Pac he wasn't on no peace treaty. He was just like, yo, y'all attack me, I'm gonna attack y'all. That's what it be about. I'm trying to get out the game. Y'all still trying to pull me in the game, right? So you can look at Tupac, what he said, in so many ways. You can look at it you can look at it as this is war. You can look at it on I've been in this situation so long, I'm trying to get myself out of it, but y'all keep pulling me in. Y'all keep talking about me. Y'all keep pulling me in. So y'all really must war. So that's how No Peace Treaty kind of came about. And I was when I was writing, I was trying to stay the course with the other two MCs. I didn't want my joint to lackluster because they were killing it from beginning to the end. So my writing came from more transparency too. It came with more transparency. It came with more how I was feeling at the time and still do. You know, put that in your pipe and smoke it. No surprise, you be tripping off a bad high. Smell the aroma. I hope you learn your lesson. The adults with the mind of an adolescent. Let's talk about it in therapy session. So those were true lines and how I
So
was
fucking
feeling
layered, bro. So
about
layered. So you're not just
situations.
talking about outward stuff. You're talking about your personal stuff.
I'm talking about my personal time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these are personal rhymes that I am now being transparent within my flow. You know what I mean? I said, I'm praying, hoping, I say, I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm hoping that you feel, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like my voice to give you chills, colder than the baby mama who is ill will on side. You know, Debo, snatch your chain, take your bike. Now, who you gonna ride with? After you then dissed all your friends, after you then said this and that, you don't need nobody, sooner or later, who you gonna ride with?
Mm-hmm.
After your chain has been snatched, after Debo, which is life, came and snatched your chain from you, and everybody who you dissed in your life or burned bridges, who helped you out in your life, who you gonna ride with? They didn't took your life, then took your bike. Who you gonna ride with? Who gonna pick you up?
And
And I
that's
had to
what
repeat,
I'm
and I
saying.
had to repeat myself again in that bar so it can make sense. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I wrote it on that. I wrote it on that standpoint, and I just had to keep it real with no peace treaty.
I love it. I love it. That's the one for me. That's the one I play probably a little too much. My kids like, all right, you don't want to listen to
All right, mom,
mine.
can you stop? Can you play something else instead
Right,
of this
right.
repeatedly? Yeah,
All
hey.
right, this is my last question because I know I went in. I was excited about this. Okay.
No, you good.
So you were talking about like a visual project, sir. So what's up with this? What's up with the visual project? And what else are you doing to expand the season of the VIC? That's basically my follow up question. Like, what's next? What's going on?
Right now we are in talks of. When I say we, it's like me, myself, and I talk to Bruja, and I talk. You know what I mean? So I'm writing out an idea for. It's 13 minutes. So I'm writing out. Let me go. Let me backtrack. So when Reagan era came out, my mission and what I wanted to do when I dropped Reagan era years back, I wanted to do a whole short film of Reagan era. Had actors doing this and then go into a video with me in the video doing, you know what I mean, like a regular video, then going back into the regular. That's what I wanted to do. What re-sparked that is that I really sat down and saw Slick Rick, listened to Slick Rick new album. And then and I didn't understand the album. So I heard he had a short documentary of the album. So as I'm watching it, I said, oh shit. He's doing exactly what I wanted to do with Reagan era. And I said, you know what? Let me go back to my idea, what I had in the beginning. So with Season of the Vic, I'm going to film like a 13-minute short doc of it that's intertwining with videos and people may not, I can't give out too much, but just intertwining with the videos.
Okay.
So that's my pushing Season of the Vic forward. And what's next with Season of the Vic is just to continue on to have dialogue or conversation about it because everyone see it differently. Like you saw all 5 on the Zodiac. Like you saw all those, like with your brilliant mind, you went a step further and I didn't even go that far. I just stuck with the seasons on the physical plane. You went on the astrological plane of all these reminds me of a Zodiac. And autumn reminds me of you are a genie. There are genies out there who will relate to autumn. There's genies out there that will relate to summer because it's a feel and how you feeling. But autumn, it's completely left field of what I am, that what I've done before.
Mhm.
So I just want to continue on to push Season of the Vic as far as we can and get more people in tune with it, and get more eyes on it, get more ears on it, have more conversation about it. Because as we have more conversation about it, because this is part three of this conversation, as we have more conversation about it, people will have a different take. And I just want to know what their take is, because your take may not be like mine, but that's what music does. That's what music
Mhm.
should do. So that is the artistic format of Season of the Vic, is now to film a 13-minute doc. Like me filming it, me filming some of it, then have somebody else film it because I may be in certain bits and pieces of it. But just being able to think freely and not be bound by record deals or labels or someone's own um, insecurities or someone's own projection of art. Like this project, Season of the Vic, is an art. That's why you have to listen to it by yourself first. We've been saying that. Listen to it by yourself first, and then have a conversation or listen to it with your crew later. Because if you don't, you're gonna miss something, and you may miss like the connection of who is Red Bruja. Like, why is she all over it? You know what I mean? Like, so I'll ask you the question. So the question I would ask you is like, why do you think, or what gave you that feel that? No, let me start. Let me ask you this: when you first heard it, did you ask yourself like, why is she all over this project? Like, what is the meaning of her being on it? And then, did you ever find the meaning of her being on the project?
I did initially. I was because I was waiting for her to be more structured. You know, like how your songs are structured. Like you get a verse, you get a verse. Here goes the hook, you get a verse. I was waiting for that, and I was like, oh, okay. So she's hosting this. This is kind of like a you know like common in between the songs. And I was like, okay, I like that. I like that. Um, for me, what she gave me when I was listening to her, she gave me chaos. She gave me like that, because she even said it. She said, "You think I'm crazy? Can you imagine my ancestors?" And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. She gave me chaos in the midst of your smoothness. You have a smooth flow. You have a smooth voice. It's like brown liquor. And she came through with the vodka. So it was kind of like we're mixing silver and gold over here. And so the first time I listened to it, my ears aren't there yet. I'm not ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting hit. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I was, just like, oh, okay, what's she doing on here? Let me, I'll listen all the way to autumn to figure it out. And it was just like, okay, she's chaos. But then the second here is like, all right, let me listen to what she's actually saying, and she's aware that she is, and I see the yin and yang, and I like that y'all go in and out, and the fact that you just like the fact that she was going first on the track and then you were putting your lyrics after, it was like okay, so your wisdom, you were the pillars to her energy everywhere. And
Hmm.
that made me love it even more, because it's like when you think about the season, isn't that what it is? Isn't it a yin and yang in every season, where you do have the chaos, you do have the summertime, you're gonna have a hurricane, you know what I'm saying? But then you got the nice weather, and the wintertime you got the snowstorm. But then you got like, it's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It's still, it's quiet, it's cleansing. So it's just like, I love that. I love the dynamic. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that because, I think when people first listen to it, they get that like, why is she all over it? Like Verse said, he's like, yo, I want to hear more Enoch. I don't want to hear who's this. Why is Red Brook all over it? And then it all made sense. I was, of course, we talked about like trust the process. So we were trusting the process that everyone would kind of get it, which some people will, some people won't. But
Right.
the object is that it's creativity, it's art, it's something that's different. That me and this is me and Verse haven't worked with each other in over 20 years. So for this to be the project that we put out over 20 years, it had to be dope. It had to be art. So that's why I asked you that question, because I really, from your standpoint and knowing you and knowing your I'm not gonna sit here and say I know all of Sunshine's mind, but what I have noticed and what I see and what I've heard, I wanted your take on it to see what your thought process was. So I
I
definitely
love it.
appreciate that.
I think the performance, I think that this performance should be different. It should be theatrical. There should be like the theater layout and like you give visuals. You guys gave visuals in your verbiage, definitely.
So if we, how can I say this but not say it? If we do this,
He's not trying to give us no spoilers, y'all.
right. If we do this on that in which you said, I would want you to come down and do a set. Not
Oh,
one song, but like 2 or 3 songs or 4 songs, whatever have you. Yeah. I'll talk to you more about that. But yeah, that's the next step. To perform it. That's the next step. Even on tour, I wish I would have been able to perform it. I don't think I don't think it was the time. Even though I was on tour with that project and doing older songs, I don't think it was time to perform it.
yeah.
We're in the summer right now, so therefore the summer is quick. The autumn is around the corner, so why not try to
Let it marinate.
fulfill those orders and before the new year comes around. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely going. I'll reach out to you to let you know what my thoughts are and try to plan it or try to plan something around your schedule because I know you're very busy.
We gonna be on the move. You just did a whole tour. You was, oh no, I can't meet up with you. I'm gonna be over in Mexico. Like what?
Oh man, hey, it was in and out, 3 days in and out. And yeah, it was a learning experience. It was a learning curve because it wasn't my tour, so it was a learning curve and learning experience
Good
within that
luck.
curve. So yeah, it's good to know people in different states. I would always say
Mhm.
that just in case something don't work out your way. It's always good to know somebody in different area codes in different states and um, tour life. Doing tours ain't well what it cracked up to be. So you just got to be ready for the BS in that process. So yeah, I I have I think we talked about you coming here on the 2nd of August, right?
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that even more and offline too.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I thank you so much because you bring a lot to the table when it comes to being an artist and being able to navigate personal life and navigate your business life because yes you are a mom, yes you that's the biggest job ever is being a parent, but then to be able to navigate through what you want to do in life and be a mom, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not. It's not easy. It's not easy. That's why I said on, when I posted online, like I want to book shows that coincides with my co-parenting schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Being a dad is first. Rhyming is whatever. But if I could get a tour together within my co-parenting schedule, yeah, I'm gonna do it. If I could do 2 or 3 shows, yeah, I'm gonna do it. But I'm not. If you call me and say, "Hey, I got this tour going on, and I got my daughter that week," nah,
No,
B,
especially if it ain't
catch me.
kid friendly. I ain't in there. Sorry.
Yeah. How much I got? Really? Is it worth it? Nah, I'll wait. I'll wait around. I'll wait till the next time. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely want to big up you. Thank you so much for curating this, and I want people to follow you. I want people to know who you are. I want people to go listen to the music. I want people to go register for some classes that you got. Tell us about before you go, because I know you have something else to do on the TikToks. So before you get on the TikToks, let people know where they can support you at, what you got going on, and things of that nature.
Honestly, if you guys follow me on Instagram, that's the biggest thing you could do. If you go look on my profile, I have my Linktree link. My Linktree link will link you to my books, my YouTube blog where I do a daily mathematics and planetary forecast. I also have my music up there. My music is on all streaming platforms. It's still Sunshine Moniè L. I make jewelry. You guys can find that also on the link tree. I have some courses coming up in the fall, winter time. I do energy awareness. I specialize in lining your astrological placements into your chakras as well as into your sephiros, or your netteries. Depends on what your walk of life is. I'm very, flexible with, whoever, whatever religion or spiritual practice. It's just, I know how to bullet pointed, and it's in alignment with the psychological concepts of stages of development, stages of grief, trust, mistrust, all those different theories. So I align my education and my career background of psychology and my purpose of spirituality and ministry, also ordained minister. So I apply all those concepts in my one-on-one sessions. And now, I've set it up in a way that I could teach it to other people to do it as well. If not for other people, at least for yourself. You know what I'm saying? It kind of helps me get it all out there to groups of people instead of keep doing the one-on-one, which gets strenuous after a while.
I can bet.
Yeah. And so, that's all I got going on. I am working on a music project. I am closing out my Saturn return. I know Saturn is still over there doing the crit walk in my draconic placement. Because Saturn just went in retrograde, but we're gonna wrap this up a little bit. So I opened up my Saturn return. I had a 3-day birthday situation. I put out my first music project, which was Less Mantra. That was a 4-song project. I put out a jewelry collection. I had always been making jewelry, but that was my first time being very intentional with the collection that I put out. And then I had published my first book, which is Stories to Tell. Which was a horror book, like a spiritual horror book. I play around with African spirituality concepts. So that's a great book. I can't wait to see it on the screen. So to close out my Saturn return, I'll be doing the same thing. I'm putting out a music project. I will be putting out this book that I've been procrastinating on for like 10 years. And I'm putting out my another jewelry collection. And I'm very excited to close this out the same way I opened it. Yeah. You always doing stuff. You find me everywhere.
Everywhere. And then tonight you on TikTok doing what?
Yes, Virgo Virgin Talk. This is my favorite podcast that I do. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Me and my co-host Goddess, we do. This season is our 5th season of Virgo Virgin Talk. We do a lot of history and socio-political episodes and religion and astrology. This season is about the ancient civilizations of the Americas. So our first episode of Virgo Virgin Talk will be on the Olmec civilization, which is, supposedly like the mother civilization to the native tribes thereafter that we are, more, versed with. And so, I'm really excited. I'm doing a lot of research, y'all know I'm a dork. In a nutshell, I'm a geek. I love learning. I'm addicted to it, and that's why Virgo Virgin Talk is my favorite, because I spend all this time doing all this research and sharing all this knowledge. And I'm a very facetious person. Okay, so if you guys read my posts and stuff like that, please don't take me literally. I love satire. I'm very sarcastic. I find dark jokes in everything. So please forgive me. It's not my heart. It's my mind.
Right. And mommy's calling you? Okay. So yeah, that's dope. I really appreciate that because people need to tap in because it's a lot of information that you have.
Daddy, mommy's coming.
All right. So it's a lot of energy there too, and I want to whatever I can do to help you push your journey or to feed into your journey. Please let me know. I know you need some videos, so we definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
Even if I have to drive up there, we definitely make it happen for you. So thank you so much for this time. I appreciate it. I hope they appreciate it, and I don't want to make you late for your Virgin Talk. And guys, if you're on TikTok, go over there, follow Sunshine Moniè L on TikTok, right?
Mhm.
And let's get into it.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Peace, y'all.
Peace. Thank you. So, Rod Justice, you asked the question, why autumn and not fall? Autumn sounds more adult than fall. And when I was looking up all of the seasons, autumn was, they asked me, I was asking, what is that thing in between winter in the next season that's coming about, and everything was just saying autumn. And I chose autumn because I just rather go left than go right and make people think. So when it's like, oh, I love the song Autumn. Oh, I love the song Autumn better than saying I love the song Fall. Well, fall from where? No, we're not falling from anywhere. So that's why. But other than that, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow when I'll be talking to Rare Bruja. Peace.